Could you tell me about the importance of all the value chain partners within a fair trade and environmental certification system benefiting so that the system works?
Sure. It's really interesting because you have different levels at which this needs to work. Sort of on the ground, think of the farmer on the ground who's got to be convinced that managing their land and their resources in a more sustainable way is a good thing because it's good for the environment, it's good socially for themselves and their workers, and hopefully it will help to lead to more efficient business processes and savings that will actually make it an economic benefit in terms of either savings or premiums that they might obtain on the product. So if you convince your farmer that there's a value proposition there and they can move in that direction, then you have to link them to the purchaser. And so purchasers could be the Starbucks of the world for coffee or craft. It could be banana buyers at Chiquita. It could be
The wholesalers, right?
yeah, typically. And so for them, they have to see again that there's a value proposition for them to potentially pay, potentially, not always, pay a premium on the product and to source from areas that are being sustainably managed. And then they need to turn to the consumer. Now they're consumer facing, or they pass along the chain to the consumer, and the consumer needs to be convinced there's a value proposition here. I'm interested in purchasing this type of coffee or this banana that's been certified as being managed in a well-managed, socially and environmentally responsible way. And hopefully the consumer, if there is a price premium, there is sometimes a price premium, not always, is willing to pay that, but at bottom, willing to recognize, most importantly, the value of this exercise. And so if you can connect 1 to 2 to 3, then you have a reinforcing chain. As there's more consumer demand, more purchasers want to buy, more growers and farmers will produce, and it's reinforcing.
So you had mentioned that environmental stewardship and poverty alleviation are very closely interlinked. Can you elaborate some more on that?
I think one of the things that we've seen in our work at the Rainforest Alliance is that a lot of the communities that inhabit the regions of the world with the highest biodiversity, many of them are poor communities, and they need to live off of the land, off of the resources that they have around them. And so one of the goals of the certification program as it developed was to try to help them use and manage their resources, their natural resources, in a more sustainable way. And in some cases, it was helping create new jobs. In other cases, it was helping them manage resources simply in a more sustainable way in businesses they already had. But I think the recognition was, in the first instance, that we can't, from the north, come to the south and tell the native populations to not use the resources they're theirs. So drawing a fence around a beautiful biodiverse region and not allowing them, or trying to encourage them not to use it in a way that's necessary for their livelihood, is completely unrealistic and not fair to those groups. So the whole certification program that the Alliance has helped spearhead tries really to work with those communities to make good decisions that help manage those resources more sustainably and help create economic value for those communities as well.